with a star on it, then the process is free because all you're doing is presenting the documents. We give you a receipt that you walk out the door that confirms you're Real ID compliant. Sounds like in this situation, he had the old driver's license. We frequently call it the one with the blue at the top and the crab. In that case, we actually have to print a new driver's license and mail it. So under regulation, $20 is the fee for that process to get that new driver's license.
Was there some confusion about the star? And I mean, let me ask it simply. Does the star mean that your license is Real ID compliant?
So there's two things you have to check. One is that you have a driver's license ID card with the star, but you also need to know that you have documents on file. And so that's why it's not enough just to look at the physical front of the license. And so we want everybody to go online, use that lookup tool, enter your driver's license number, and it'll tell you if you're compliant or not.
Because there was something about if you get pulled over and you have a license that maybe has a star without the documents, the trooper was going to confiscate it and tell you to go to the MVA. Was that the case, and is that still the case?
So we've been gradually notifying customers who were in that circumstance who had a driver's license with a star on it but didn't have any documents on file. So there was a group of individuals who had a July deadline. There was a very small number of those people who did not provide the documents. And after an extended period of time, at this point we've sent them over 12 notices, there was an indication put on their license that they needed to have those Real ID documents. But our goal is really to work with every customer to bring them into compliance, and we're even proactively reaching out to those individuals and people with upcoming deadlines to offer them appointments. So without them even reaching out to us, we are reaching out to them and again trying to make it a good experience.
Back to the phones, Cecil County, this is James. James, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
All right.
Yes, you're on. What's your question?
Hi, thank you. My question is that my wife and I returned from Florida back to Maryland in 2013, and we went ahead and supplied all that documentation. But of course, our driver's license don't indicate that. So what's our process now? Do we have to go reproduce all those documents, or can we just apply for the license?
Thanks for the phone call. Do you understand the situation?
Yes, that's a great question. So starting in 2009, we started scanning documents for all of our new customers. And so it sounds like in this case, when they moved back to Maryland, they presented their documents and they were scanned into the system. So all that they need to do is to get that new driver's license with the star on it. There's no need to re-present the documents. And so he can check first to see if he's eligible to do that online. We'll pay the $20 fee for ordering that new driver's license. If he's not eligible to do it online, make an appointment, come to a branch office. It'll be a very quick process to get that.
Let's see, a couple of email questions here, also about passports. Here's a question from Linda, viewer. Why are the pictures in black and white, not color, in D.C.? Oh, I see. Is that in Maryland, too? They haven't gotten to color pictures in D.C. yet?
We actually have a black and white on the front of the license and a color photo on the back of the new driver's license or ID card. The reason for that is it's actually laser engraved, which is a much more secure way of printing the information on the card. In the past, there are issues with people trying to change information on the face of a card to use somebody else's identity. And so a few years back, we procured a new secure driver's license. In fact, we believe it's the most secure in the country to protect people's identity. So that's why it's black and white on the front, that laser engraving, but on the back we still have that colored photo.
And that's why you can't walk out the door, even if you just got a new license, they don't hand it to you anymore, right?
That's exactly right. We now mail it to you because the process is a little more intensive because of that laser engraving. But again, it gives you that security of knowing that your identity has been protected, and certainly the security of identity we know is critical to all Marylanders and Americans.
Back to the phones, call from Howard County. This is Adugo. Thank you for calling. Go ahead. Hello, you're on.
Yes. Hi. I have a question about the cost of getting the Real ID. So if my current license is scheduled to expire like in 3 or 4 years, do I pay the full cost, or will the cost be prorated?
All right, good question. Thanks very much.
So if your license expires in several years and you want to get the Real ID compliant license, you will pay the $20 duplicate fee. That's the same fee you would pay if, say, you lost your driver's license and you needed to come in to get a new one. So it's the fee under regulation that we charge for somebody that's getting a new physical driver's license or ID card. So you pay that $20 and then you will be Real ID compliant when you present your documents.
Similar question by email. I received my Real ID license 7 months ago and now it is cracked. How do I go about getting a new one? How much will that cost? Anybody can get a duplicate license, right?
That's right. You can apply online for a duplicate license. If it cracked, that's kind of unusual, and so I'd encourage them to reach out to us by email or phone and let us know exactly what happened so we can look into it.
What do you do from a security standpoint? You're collecting a trove of data, the most personal stuff, social security numbers. Can people be confident that that data is going to be protected?
That's a very important question to us. I mean, people are giving us their most sensitive information. We want to make sure that it's safe and they have confidence in that. So it starts with the employees. Our employees all go through federal and state background checks. We get training on a regular basis about security and how you handle personal information. And then with the system, multiple layers of security in the system, encryption, making sure that information is protected. And anytime somebody scans information into your record, that information is recorded. So we know exactly what customer agent processed the transaction and who looked at the data. So there are multiple factors that go into protecting it, and it's something we take very seriously.
You're opening a special veterans office. What's that about?
Yes, we just opened the first kind of partnership with Veterans Affairs and M.MVA at our Glen Burnie branch office. They were looking for a location in Anne Arundel County. They didn't have one there, and so we were glad to welcome them into our facility. Be a great location for veterans in Anne Arundel County to go to, talk about benefits, talk about any questions or concerns they have, and it's actually the second biggest population of veterans in the state of Maryland, so a great option.
Wow.
Hopefully it'll be convenient for our veterans.
Well, I can tell by the phones and emails that we have not answered everybody's question. So what's the best way for people to get reliable information on this?
Yes, please reach out to us. There's a lot of information on our website, mva.maryland.gov. You can send us an email. You can call our call center, social media, and also on our website. We're very active in the community, going out to fairs, festivals, events. So check out where we'll be and come visit us in person. We'd be glad to answer your question. If there's an event you'd like us to come to, if you're a community organizer, send us that information as well. There's that ability right online, and we'd be glad to come out if we can.
Very good. Chrissy Neiser runs the MVA. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. We're back with more of your calls right after this.
Can you tell us what you know?
Turning back now to the race for the White House.
The State Board of Elections voted Thursday to set up a new election.
It must be a very emotional day.
The world changed in the blink of an eye.
Children are at the heart of this story.
I want to know their stories. Here we go.
I grew up believing that I could literally be anything I wanted to be.
I'm gonna be very legendary. Things ain't never gonna be the same.
Prove it. That sounds like fun.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
This is mind-blowing.
That's incredible.
Welcome to the program, everyone.
That's amazing.
Welcome coming through.
I have chills. It's going to be big this year. Compelling, powerful, amazing.
Legendary.
We are overcoming limitations.
I'm all yours.
Joining Joining us for our Your Health segment this week are Thomas Merkel, hospitalist and chief of medicine, and Veronica Gale Short, patient navigator, the spinal cord unit of the University of Maryland Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Institute. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
We want to talk about the incredible number of people who have chronic conditions, almost half of the country. You have a different approach for this. What are we doing?
So we're actually targeting outpatients in the community. We've realized that chronic disease management just doesn't end when a patient's discharged from the hospital. And we educate patients and their families really well while they're in their hospital stay. But we understand that this lifelong learning continues well beyond once they're discharged. So we found that we can really re-engage them after discharge, after the stress and the uncertainty of a hospital stay has ended, and pull them back in and really give them the sort of education that they need to be lifelong, educated lifelong in terms of their chronic health management.
Veronica, this is a 6-week program.
Yes, it is.
What do you cover?
Well, the course covers information about food label reading, relaxation, and techniques, partnering with your healthcare provider, short-term goal planning, long-term planning for the future, fitness and exercise for fun and health, stress and depression management, communication skills, that is communicating with your healthcare provider, friends, and family effectively.
And that's really interesting because when we talk about chronic conditions, you have a lot of complicated stuff. The ability to communicate in the hospital setting, as a hospitalist, what you do, you've got all the time, you've got all the data. When you go to see a primary care physician these days, time can be short. That's a useful skill.
Yes.
Any specific conditions that benefit from this program?
Well, there's not one specific chronic disease or condition that this course covers. However, some examples of chronic conditions include asthma, arthritis, hypertension or high blood pressure, diabetes, depression, heart disease, and just to name a few.
This came out of Stanford. Did I see that in the notes?
That's correct. Yeah, so Stanford originated this program a number of years ago, and it's really been adopted, across the nation. It's been shown to really positively impact health outcomes, and engage patients in their own health care and let them feel empowered about how they manage their own health.
Is part of this psychological? I mean, particularly in the setting of maybe a sudden orthopedic injury, where one day you're walking around fine, and the next you're dealing with a lifetime issue.
Absolutely. There's the physical manifestations of disease, but I think what this program really tries to hone in on is the emotional aspects. Because when you're dealing with a chronic illness, it impacts you not just in terms of how you take your medications and how you manage the actual medical treatment, but in terms of how you deal with, going through those phases of accepting a diagnosis. A lot of patients who have a new diagnosis, a life-changing diagnosis, go through a process analogous to the stages of grieving. So we want to make sure that we give them the tools so that they can really kind of hone in on that empowerment and handle those emotions that come with these diagnoses.
Must be something you see in practice too.
Well, yeah. At the conclusion of one of the 6-week series, several participants reported acquiring the ability to identify specific feelings associated with his or her chronic condition. Prior to the class, the participants shared the belief that their feelings or ideations couldn't be addressed beyond medical intervention. The participants reported that they were at their wits' end and having very difficulty finding solutions or a process. As a result of the information shared during the series, the participants reported learning practical methods to obtain the care that was needed. Ultimately, the Living Well course will assist one build self-confidence to make new choices about one's ability to manage chronic conditions.
Where do you offer this? Is it at the hospital?
Yes, it is. It is held at the University of Maryland Rehab and Orthopedic Institute. The next series begins November 4th through December 9th from 1 through 3:30 p.m.
And this is the facility that some people still think of as Kernan.
Yes, that is the same facility.
Just so we know where it is. How about insurance? I mean, is there a cost for this? And if there is, would insurance maybe help?
Well, the 6-week course is free. There is no insurance costs or
Terrific.
out-of-pocket costs.
What's the literature on this? I mean, if you, as you said, it's spreading around the country.
Sure.
There must be data to back up the success.
There is. There are a number of studies that really show a great impact in terms of health outcomes. And by extension, we're not only improving patients' health, but we're reducing their out-of-pocket healthcare costs too by improving it, both individually and for society. So it definitely has shown a great return on the investment.
Have either of you learned something from being involved in this that maybe you didn't recognize before? What do you think?
I think it's just how each patient handles their chronic diseases differently. And, to be able to give them strategies that are individualized so that they can, really feel empowered about how they're handling their condition.
How much of the strategy is universal across all chronic conditions, and how much has to be tailored to whether somebody has maybe lost mobility versus other issues?
So, there's a lot of universal components to chronic disease management, but certainly, each type of condition has its own challenges, and that's something that our patient navigators, the leaders of this course, really help identify and help provide resources to the patients so that they know that, these are ways that they can handle their specific illness.
How about goal setting and setting goals that are achievable and realistic?
Yes, that is part of the curriculum. We facilitate setting short-term goals as well as long-term goals in a manner in which the patient or client participating can achieve those goals. So we go through methods to teach one how to set a goal and stick to it and have the best outcome.
What's the trick for that? Sticking to it, right?
Well, yes,
that's
sticking
everybody's
to it,
issue.
Yes, attending the 6-week course and you'll learn.
And go to all 6 weeks of it.
All 6 weeks, 1 day a week.
How about role for alternative medicine? There's a lot of trendy stuff, maybe not all that well proven, but after they've received your services and your services, they may be looking for some help that maybe traditional medicine can't provide at the moment.
Certainly, and I feel like that's something that we encourage within reason. As long as the therapies are reasonably proven, not shown to harm a patient. Accepted Eastern practices like acupuncture have been well studied.
Broadly, when you're looking at the group of people discharged from the hospital, how many would benefit from some follow-up care like this, and how many do you think actually get it, whether from this program or something similar? I mean, this is new, so maybe you're just starting to make a dent in it.
Yeah, I think the need is much bigger than we even realize, to be honest.
And that's something the medical profession is coming around to.
It's true. It's no longer, take 2 pills and call me in the morning. This is really lifelong management and teaching people skills and strategies to take control of their own health.
And before we go, the role for family members in this. Now, hopefully the person dealing with a chronic condition isn't dealing with it alone.
Most times not. Typically, persons are living in a communal setting, or they have a spouse who has a chronic illness, or they have a family member, child, or sibling who has a chronic condition, and they come to the course to learn how to best assist them in managing that chronic condition.
Very good. Veronica Gale Short and Thomas Merkel, the University of Maryland Rehabilitation and Orthopedic Institute. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it. Thursday at this time on Your Money and Business, we'll find out what the future holds for health insurance costs. That's Thursday at 7 on MPT. Now, for all of us at MPT, I'm Jeff Salkin. Thanks for watching Direct Connection, and have a good night.
Your health segments are a co-production of Maryland Public Television and the University of Maryland Medical System.
This program was made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities.